Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Elimination Chamber review for tonight, Sunday, February 17th, 2013. Of course, the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania 29, and of course, New Jersey, New York area at MetLife Stadium. Of course, 7 weeks from tonight. Now, my thoughts on tonight's pay-per-view going into Mania. It was okay chamber pay-per-view. Calls out 2 main title matches for WrestleMania have been set following the results of the matches during this pay-per-view this evening, especially the Elimination Chamber match to determine the number 1 contender for the world title. And I think it was a great decision to only have 1 chamber match this year, because there's always been 2, and it's always been like that where you have 2 of the same type matches in a pay-per-view, like Money in the Bank, for instance. They always have 2 MITB matches, and always ends up being the same scenario. One Money in the Bank rules, the other one didn't have as good moments. And I'm glad I only had 1 chamber match tonight, because it's usually, like I said, 2 chamber matches in the same night. 1 chamber rocked, 1 chamber would suck. But I'm glad I only had 1 chamber match tonight, instead of oversaturating it with 2 of them. And have 1 weak one and 1 badass one. So I thought that was a good decision there. As far as the rest of the decisions, not a lot of shocking things tonight. I really thought Brock Lesnar was going to make an appearance tonight, but once again, WWE being predictable, didn't want any surprises, didn't want to shock people. Still nobody to make cash in. Anyway, 6.5 out of 10. I rated it the same last year, rated it the same this year. 6.5, I thought it was an okay pay-per-view going to Mania. Didn't need a lot of build-up. And I'll give you my thoughts on the Mania title matches when I talk about the matches that determined the match for Mania. So, there you go. Alright, let's kick off pay-per-view with, of course, the pregame match on the YouTube channel. It was, of course, a tag team affair, as BRODUS and TENSAI, the 2 dancing mounds, as the mounds that get down, as JB would say during the main broadcast, they took on the reunited, for one night only, unfortunately, it was one night only, RHODESCHOLARS, guy. I feel bad for them. They reunited for one night. And it was great to see them back in action together. Just for one night, I thought they had great chemistry. I really thought RHODESCHOLARS should have been tag team champions. And he proved it by dominating the early half of this matchup. The elbow of the stain and a beautiful disaster kick. Nailed by, of course, Sandow and Cody Rhodes after an early fury by TENSAI and BRODUS. Until, like I said, TENSAI and BRODUS got their butts ripped early on in the middle of the matchup by Sandow and Rhodes. But in the end, the double team headbutt. And of course, a big double splash by TENSAI and BRODUS Clay ended the matchup 1-2-3 victory for BRODUS Clay and TENSAI. I feel bad for RHODESCHOLARS for reuniting for one night only and losing in a silly matchup between TENSAI and Clay, especially since they're just starting out as a tag team. And I felt that, said it last week, I'll say it again, I wish they were still monsters and not silly, gimmicky shticks like the Dancing Freaks. I know TENSAI / Albert was the hip-hop hippo at one time, but come on, I still feel bad for him. He's like a joke. I would not be surprised if he gets fired by the end of the year, because he'd be frustrated by the situation. I love he's playing along with it, but I think he's like, I need a paycheck, but I feel stupid. 2.0 out of that match. It was kind of a okay made. All the pre-show matches always are like silly little filler matches. But still, it was an okay filler match, but not like exciting. So there you go. BRODUS Clay and TENSAI with the victory. Now on with the pay-per-view matches. Starting off with the World Heavyweight Championship. The Big Show trying to get revenge on Alberto Del Rio in a title match, of course, for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, Big Show was, of course, has been embarrassed and humiliated by Alberto Del Rio during several weeks, being painted on and being beat up in a hotel room. But Big Show felt aggressive following the beatdown of Matt Striker, but many others on SmackDown on Monday, knocking everybody out. Big Show came in like a house of fire, very aggressive. But Alberto tried his best, but of course Big Show looked to be too tough. It looked like Big Show was going to go on to WrestleMania to defend the World Championship. It really had all of the advantages and, of course, looking good. But, of course, Alberto showing the heart and agility and ability of a champion, giving all he had with a little help from Ricardo near the end of the match. So despite Ricardo being beat down by Big Show midway towards the fight, Alberto indeed gave the fight to Big Show. And, of course, the end of the match came with Alberto's buddy, Conor Rodriguez was on the rope as Big Show choke slammed Alberto and was ready for a knockout yet again. It was a decent spot with Alberto delivering a nasty DT on the Big Show. Some decent spots in this match. It was an okay matchup, which ended with, of course, like I said, Big Show was going for the knockout punch, and Ricardo got knocked out of the apron. But the bucket hit Big Show as Big Show grabbed the bucket out of Ricardo. Alberto came with the Zikiri kick, and the kick kind of landed Big Show in the head with the bucket, kind of adding more pain to the head. Like the can hit the Big Show's head when Alberto nailed the insecurity kick. And of course, it went towards the cross arm breaker. Alberto nailed the cross arm breaker of Big Show 3 times, but the 3rd time was the charm. And Big Show tapped out to the cross arm breaker, despite trying to fight out of it. And indeed, Alberto Del Rio returned the World Heavyweight Championship. 2.2. I'll give it a 2.2 out of 5 for this match. It was an okay start to the pay-per-view. Some okay spots, but not. I think the woman match was a little better than this match. Okay matchup. Like I said, not as good as the woman match. It was decent to see it being a wheel match instead of like a last man standing match, and seeing Alberto get a wheel win on Big Show, helping him submit with, of course, a little help from the can, adding to the hit of the Insecurity. So there you go. Alberto Del Rio returns the World Heavyweight Championship. Goals elevated to defend that title. Who would be the #1 contender? Well, we'll find out in the Elimination Chamber match to determine that in just a little bit. Now on to our next matchup for the United States Championship. Miz taking on Antonio Cesaro. Of course, Miz being on bandage up following the beatdown he received from Cesaro on Raw this past Monday. So indeed, Miz came in like a house of fire. And Cesaro then dominated for most of the matchups. Cesaro, I don't like his attitude towards America, but Cesaro is a very hard-hitting wrestler. He's a very tough guy, and he dominated the matchup. And indeed, Miz tried his best. And I'll give Miz credit. Miz gave the fight to Cesaro despite fighting an elbow injury, and he even gave a little bit of an injury to Cesaro. He nailed Cesaro's knee against the steel steps, but the match shows Cesaro had a handicap with the knee, as Miz did with a handicap with the shoulder injury. And indeed, Miz looked like he was ready for the victory after getting handily beaten by Cesaro in the first half of the matchup. Getting physically dominated by Cesaro, but Miz looked like he was going to get the victory as he was getting ready for the figure 4 leg lock a la Ric Flair. But unfortunately, as he was going for it, his knee kind of landed in Cesaro's nether regions. Referee disqualified Miz, calling it a low blow. Inadvertent or not, Miz's knee landed in the nether regions of Cesaro. Kind of a silly, screwy ending for the matchup. I bet you the feud will continue on. I would not be surprised if there will be another matchup at WrestleMania for the title. So Cesaro retains by DQ with a silly ending. It was a decent matchup. Kind of a hard-hitting, grueling matchup. But still, the ending kind of took away from me. With the silly ending with Miz kind of inadvertently low-blowing Cesaro as he was setting up the figure 4. So 2.0 for that match as well. So there goes Cesaro retains the United States Championship. Now on to that matchup. Bye-bye. I hate to admit this. I know it was a gimmick match and all, but it's probably the match of the night if you can call anything good on this pay-per-view. It was the Elimination Chamber match to determine the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. We all know Cesaro was going to Mania. Who would be the #1 contender? Well, of course, this chamber match consisted of Jack Swagger, Kane, Mark Henry, Randy Orton, and the 2 guys who started off, which I applaud WWE for letting these 2 start the chamber match. Following their great match on the wall, Chris Jericho and Daniel Bryan showed once again that their match on the wall was not a fluke. They had a great start to this matchup. And after those 2 started, of course, Jack Swagger came in 3rd. 4th was Kane's tag team partner. Of course, Kane came in, like I said, Kane came in 4th. 5th was Orton. 6th was Henry. That's, of course, the order of entry. And there were some great spots in this Elimination Chamber. Despite being a TPG chamber, there were some great spots in this chamber match. I thought Mark Henry looked very dominant. When he came in last like a house of fire, he beat the crap out of everybody. He rammed Orton against the pod, breaking a pod. And he beat the crap out of Daniel Bryan and Kane being the 2 elimination. I thought Kane and Daniel Bryan were going to eliminate themselves. I know they've been having tension lately. And Kane and Daniel Bryan beat the crap out of each other despite their tag team accord. I bet you they will lose the tag titles eventually. They've been having turmoil lately. Add on to the fact, one of my other favorite spots in this matchup was Kane having Daniel Bryan on top of him and Jericho helping him with a doomsday device on Daniel Bryan. That was cool having that doomsday device spot. L-O-D. L-O-D. Anyway, at the Mark Henry was dominant early going. Waving on against the pod, eliminated Kane and Daniel Bryan with one strongest slams. It looked like Mark Henry was about to lose momentum as Swagger and Jericho teamed up on Mark Henry with a great double suplex on the steel of the chamber. I thought Mark was going to counter that, but Jericho and Swagger can't believe they got the double plex him. And it looked like Henry was going back for the kill following that little offset. Henry came back like a house of fire and ready to deliver a double splash under Swagger Jericho. But they missed. He missed it. Jericho down the cold breaker. RKO from Orton. 1, 2, 3. Mark Henry was eliminated. Because I really thought Henry had the advantage. And Mark Henry looked very tough going into the chamber match. With some big victories on Raw. And he entered the chamber like a house of fire. But he lost in an interesting fashion with help from 3 guys. Henry came back in, delivered one strongest slams to all 3 guys. Swagger, Jericho, and Orton. In retaliation, it took Booker T and Teddy Long to send Henry to the back. And with Henry out of the way, Orton, Jericho, and Swagger were fighting for positions. It was an okay 3-on-3 triple threat action. Orton delivered, of course, the DDT. It looked like Orton was going to dominate and get the victory. I didn't know who was going to win this match. I was like, who's going to fight Alberto, who deserves to fight Alberto. But indeed, the ending came as Orton was ready to deliver the finishing blow. He delivered the RKO on Chris Jericho. 1, 2, 3. But right when Orton eliminated Jericho, Swagger walled up Orton. 1, 2, 3. Jack Swagger wins the match. And he will face off against Alberto Del Rio. When I found that out, I was like, oh boy. This should be a very interesting storyline. It could be a very interesting build-up for the matchup now, Swagger and Alberto. Because of this whole new attitude Jack Swagger has with, of course, his new manager, Zap Culture, focusing on the we Americans. True Americans. So I can only imagine Swagger's promos. I am a we American, and the champion is a Mexican who crossed our borders illegally. So I can only imagine Zap Culture and Jack Swagger delivering some anti-Mexican immigrant promos on Alberto in the next couple weeks, building up for their title match at Mania. Now it will be Alberto Del Rio against Jack Swagger. So, weird title match to have, but we'll see how they build up this match. With the, like I said, the scenario, it looks decently. The build-up should be alright, with, of course, Swagger being the true American. Like I said, you can only imagine the promos about him making fun of the fact that the WWE World Champion is a Mexican who crossed our borders illegally. We the people, we the people. So there you go. 3.0 out of 5. Great spots, great action in this chamber match. Very grueling matchup. Despite it being a TVPG chamber match, I thought they used the steel and I thought they used the weapon. Allowed the pods pretty well. So there you go. Jack Swagger wins the match. Goes on to Mania to be the number 1 contender for the world title. Now on to our next matchup. 6-man tag action, which I thought was going to be a chamber match as well. A 6-man War Games type matchup in the chamber, but it ended up being a regular 6-man tag. John Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus taking on the Shield. Now I really thought Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus was going to win this matchup, but what do we know? Anyway, Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus came out from the get-go before the Belly Ray beat the crap out of Shield in a pre-match beatdown. And they're coming into the match like a house of fire. Sheamus delivering the chops. Each guy getting an opportunity to skid it out. But it turned out to be a Super Cena type beatdown match as the Shield dominated on Cena for most of the match. They isolated Cena in their corner. I thought Shield, despite my hatred for their storyline, as a team, they worked pretty damn well. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose dominated over Cena. They really beat the crap out of Cena, and Cena deserved that beatdown. Of course, the Shield storyline is all about injustices. Right? All the beatdowns that Cena got from the Shield is revenge from all the Cena haters out there who hate the fact that he's going to go on to WrestleMania to be the WWE Champion #1 contender. So, I'm glad that the Shield kind of like beat the crap out of Cena, that he's a big problem, that Cena doesn't face any consequences. Because he's Super Cena! So I was happy they got the beatdown from us in matchup. But like all Super Cena beatdowns, despite being beat up, he hulks up. He Cena's up. And the man, I need to call him this, John, I fucked a porn star Cena. Cheating on his wife with a porn star. Gandalf Frost. I'm surprised the crowd was pro Cena. There was a lot of anti-Cena fans, but I was surprised that the Cena haters did not say, "You got busted!" or Kendra Frost chants on Cena. I fucked the porn star Cena. But indeed, Super Cena came flying out, tagged in Ryback, and Ryback came in like a house of fire, and it seemed that, yes, Ryback, Cena, and Sheamus was going to get the win. But the end was near as Roman Reigns speared the crap out of Sheamus outside the ring. Sheamus was trying to save the match after the Ryback was going for the win. Shield broke the count. Sheamus came in to help, but got speared by Roman Reigns outside the ring by the announcers area. Speared the barricade, broke the barricade. With Sheamus out of commission, Cena and Ryback were ready to finish it off. As Cena FU'd Ambrose, and Sheamus still out of ringside, but Ryback was ready to deliver the shell shock on Seth Rollins. But Roman Reigns came back in, speared the hell out of Ryback. Seth rolled on top of Ryback. 1, 2, 3. Shield with a shocking win over Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus. I thought those three were going to dominate, but I was shocked and kind of happy to see the Shield win the matchup with a weird ending with, of course, Roman Reigns spearing the hell out of Ryback with Seth Rollins' momentum rolling on top of Ryback after almost getting shell-shocked in the pin. 1, 2, 3 for the Shield. And Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus, they thought they had it in the bag. But of course, they lost to the Shield. I smell a rematch, and maybe Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus will get revenge one way or another against the Shield. And Cena wants to end this Shield thing fast, especially because to focus on the WWE Champion, whoever that will be. 2.0 out of 5. It was an okay matchup. That was not as much of a clusterfuck as I thought. But the Shield gets the victory in a shocking fashion. When, of course, Sheamus knocked out for the count. And Ryback getting Shield speared by, of course, Roman Reigns. And Rollins getting the pain in the win. Now on to an impromptu matchup. I thought the Divas match was cut. Little did we know. Dolph Ziggler, Money to Bank. Mad as hell he was on the card. And I thought Christian was going to come back and surprise his opponent. Nope. I bet you didn't want to save Christian for after Mania. Because I heard Christian is medically cleared. But anyway, Dolph Ziggler's surprise opponent was Kofi Kingston. For being in an impromptu matchup, AJ and little Biggie Langston tried their best to interfere. It looked like Kofi was going for the big win. He had the tournament paradise at one point. But indeed, with help from AJ and, of course, like I said, Biggie Langston did indeed help out a little bit to help Dolph Ziggler get the victory with the zigzag. And 1, 2, 3 victory for Ziggler despite almost getting showed off by Kofi. Ziggler gets the victory. Now, Biggie Langston got a little bumped by Kofi. Kofi trying to fly off the top, off the middle rope to land on Ziggler, but accidentally hit Biggie Langston because Ziggler ducked it. Biggie Langston wanted revenge for that hit from Kofi. After the matchup, Biggie Langston beat the crap out of Kofi Kingston after the matchup. I would have liked this to have happened. Biggie Langston beat the crap out of Kofi Kingston. Alberto Rio comes out. Tries to help out. gets beat out of him by Big E. Cashed in by Dolph. No, WWE doesn't want to be surprising. Big E thinks they beat the crap out of KOFI. No help at all. So there you go. Dolph Ziggler gets the victory. 2.0 is 2 impromptu. It filled in time. And like I said, I thought there would be no Divas match. Well, there was. For the WWE Divas Championship, TAMINA against KAITLYN. The good news and the bad news. Good news is at least they fought in a regular match tonight, not in a silly Lumberjills match like they did during the Wall Roulette. During that silly Wall Roulette and that Showgirls Lumberjill match with a stupid ending. At least they had a real matchup. But the bad news is it was a typical Divas match. Tamina looked kind of... I thought Tamina had a good chance of winning the championship tonight. But Tamina, in the end, to try to deliver the big splash, the super flash splash, a la her dad, missed it. Tamina got speared by KAITLYN. 1, 2, 3. KAITLYN retains the Divas Championship 2.0. Typical Divas match. Let's move on to the WWE Championship matchup. The Rock taking on CM Punk across the storyline being that if The Rock were to get disqualified or counted out, he were to lose the championship like Punk would have lost the title if Shield interfered last month, which they did, of course, the silly ending. I think we had another silly ending tonight. The match, well, the flow of the match was okay. I think the woman match was a little better than this, despite the ending, but it was a slow start. Punk was basically needing Rock headlocks, and I kind of liked Punk's strategy, trying to count out the Rock and disqualify the Rock, then win the title back. He slapped the hell out of the Rock, trying to anger the Rock, spinning on the Rock. Kind of reminded me of, there was Money in the Bank 2011, Christian against Randy Orton. It was that same storyline. With if Orton would have get disqualified or counted out, Christian wanted to win the title. That's what happened. Christian angered Orton so much. Angle got the hold of Orton with the low blow from Orton to Christian. And of course, Christian won the match that way because Orton got disqualified. And like I said, the storyline was Orton got DQ'd or counted out. He would lose the title. And that's what Punk was trying to do, trying to anger the Rock to try to get him disqualified to get the title. But Rock didn't fall for that. And Punk dominated the Rock for most of the matchup, delivered the Rock bottom on the table. And despite that, Rock kept fighting back, and Rock indeed fought back, delivering a Samoa drop. And indeed, got the spine busted, all the famous moves of Rock's. And I guess I'm a big Rock fan, but seeing him as champion now, knowing his schedule as an actor now, it's still weird. But anyway, I think Paul Heyman might have screwed Punk here. I think Punk may have lost because of Heyman. 2 referees got knocked out in the mid of the matchup. Punk really had the dominant force. He really dominated Rock for most of the matchup. He got the GTS, and he had the pin, but the referee got distracted by Paul Heyman. And when that happened, Punk was going for a big move, and because of that move, Paul Heyman dunked, and the referee got hit and got knocked out. Mike Chioda got knocked out, and then that's when Punk got the GTS, and no referee. Another referee came out. It didn't help Punk out. And then when Rock had the pin, then the other referee finally came in. And of course, Punk kicked out. And then another weird thing with the other referee getting his leg smashed by Punk. And then, of course, despite Punk trying to use the WWE Championship with the referees down, Heyman got hit by Punk with the title. And then, of course, that went for the Rock Spine Buster. People's Elbow, 1, 2, 3. Rock retained the WWE Championship. Celebrated as we all feared, it is now official. Rock Cena 2. I am not the biggest fan of it. I like the Rock and all, but come on, we really don't want to see Rock Cena 2. The rematch won't live up to the expectations of the first match. Yes, Taker Triple H's rematch at Mania last year lived up to the hype. But come on. We'd rather see new guys in the main event. But no, it's all about Rock and Cena. I love Rock, but I hate Cena. And I'm fearing Cena's going to win the title at Mania. I know Cena wanted the match to be the WWE Championship last year between him and Rock. But now it will be him and Rock for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. By the way, 2.0 out of 5 for that match. The ending, once again, kind of a silly, screwy ending again. but not as screwy as the main event at Rumble, but I think Punk will still feel screwed. So, anyway, Rock's still the champion. So let me tell you, 2 main Mania title matches have been revealed. So we got Swagger and Alberto. I can imagine that storyline going towards immigration and border crossing. Blah, 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 blah. Mexican champion. Blah, 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 blah. We American, we the people. Of course, Rock, Cena. I love the promos last year, but I wonder, with the lack of build-up for Rock and Punk, will the lack of build-up be the same for Rock and Cena? Especially since they don't have a heel to work with, like they did going into Mania 28, having a whole year to build the feud up. So, there you go. See how Mania goes, but I just fear Mania's going to suck. The 2 title matches, the hype for those 2 matches are not going to be great, especially if you get Triple H and Lesnar. WrestleMania 29 could actually suck. I am, like, uneven about Mania thus far. I have, like, no expectations for Mania, especially with these matches being made tonight. That is it for my WWE Elimination Chamber review. Once again, 6.5 out of 10. We'll see what Mania turns out. With the lack of build-up now, and, you know, let's see how it all turns out in New York on April 7th. With that in mind, but it's act by the review from Zach. Thank you all very much for watching this video. See me rambling on. I've been a little bit ill under the weather for the last couple of days. That's why I maybe rambling a little. So there you go. Thanks for handling it for me. See you all later. Thank you for watching. And happy President's Day tomorrow. Yeah.